Hey everyone, Wolfman here, and welcome to another Guild Wars 2 video. Last time I talked about good sides of Guild Wars 2, and this time I wanted to do something different and talk about things that could use some improvements. For those of you who don't know much about Guild Wars 2, there are 3 completely separate game modes that you can play. There is PvE, there is structured PvP, and then there is World vs World, a grand scale war between 3 servers. Unfortunately, out of these 3 modes, World vs World seems to be the only one that is constantly falling throughout the years. Player base has shrunken to the point where they had to merge servers just to have fun matchups. Now, initially I had 3 things in mind that would improve World vs World, but luckily ArenaNet already addressed one of them, which is rewards. For a long time, World vs World community asked for better rewards, and it happened. Now there is great system with pips, there are reward tracks as well, and you can pretty much equip yourself fully with legendary items, just by playing World vs World. The only exception is legendary trinket, which I guess you would have to go out and play some PvE. But overall, we can say World vs World is sufficient game mode, at least from economics standpoint. But now, let's talk about things that are missing from World vs World. One of major turndowns, for me at least, is lack of statistics and competitive rankings. World vs World is competitive game mode, and if you want this mode to grow, you need to attract competitive minded people. So for example, wouldn't it be great if we had leaderboard that showed top 20 killers in World vs World? Or let's say a list of tower assaulters, Stormy's castle assaulters, or let's say you are a defensive minded person. Why not top 20 keep defenders or camp defenders? Maybe you are not bloodthirsty at all. Maybe you like to help people. Then how about top 20 revivers, top 20 healers of all time? Then how about server-based rankings? And then if person wanna switch to another server, you wipe their ranking history and make them start all over again. And this way we can stop this bandwagoning issues, because people would feel bad to lose their progress on leaderboards. Then I don't know, how about weekly or monthly rankings? Suddenly all these World vs World guilds could have this amazing tool, and they could run guild competitions or even server competitions collaborating with other guilds. I'll give you even more ideas. Have you ever wondered which server held first place the most consecutive weeks in a row, or which server was number 1 most amount of times? That could be another ranking that will inspire larger groups and try to take down these records. Now the only question here is, could ArenaNet make this, or is this maybe too difficult to implement, because I don't know, there could be some limitations on their side. But these are the things that would lure me personally into World vs World, and I assume probably other competitive minds as well. Now, while I think majority of people will support and like this idea, my second one is a little bit more controversial. But keep in mind, this is an RPG, and it is a competitive game mode. And with that in mind, isn't it strange that you cannot talk to your enemy or even see their name? I remember when game first came out in 2012, I was so disappointed with this, because usually in other games there is this emotional connection and bond you get with your enemies. And I feel this is a really important part of any RPG experience. Now we did have a social outlet through forums. New players probably won't even know this, but we had these weekly matchup threads. And this was the only thing that kept World vs World alive for me. Each week someone would start a thread and you could read what happened or write your own experience. A lot of the times there were harsh words, sure, maybe even flamings, but this is an integral part of war and competitive setting. Sure, there are lines that should never be crossed, but I feel this is a game mode where this line should be pushed a bit higher. Unfortunately, they decided to close these weekly reports, and at least for me, this killed any interest I had for World vs World. And I wonder if other players felt the same way. I just feel if you remove all social interaction, game becomes too emotionally empty. To give you an example of what was going on in these matchup threads, one day Gunnar sold my server, we were defending our keep and we were vastly outnumbered by attackers. I think they were Aurora Glade, but I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. But anyways, all they had to do is kill our lord and take our keep. What happened instead? Imagine an antline, full of players, going from our base all the way to the lord, full of warriors, with Revive banner. And it was sort of like suicidal mission. You go there, I was also there with my warrior. I would plant my banner, revive Lord, die, and then repeat process. And for like 2 or 3 hours, we just kept repeating this. And imagine their rage and our joy on forums after this. In fact, our server after this was known as Banner's World. But these stories, that's what made War vs. War fun for me. And these weekly matchup threads, they were full of stories like this. Once they were gone, I don't know, War vs. War became too empty and hollow for me. So here is my suggestion. Let's assume that ArenaNet doesn't want to change their core philosophy here, and they still wanna keep preserving anonymity of players. Even though me personally, I would love to know the name of my enemies, I would love if enemy knew my name, but most of all, I would love to be able to speak to my enemy. But let's say, okay, we are preserving anonymity. Can we at least bring back these old matchup threads? Because not only they let us express ourselves and our emotions somewhere, but they are also promoting this game mode to new players. If you go now to forums and War vs. World section, it is so boring and so pessimistic that not only will it not attract new players, it will probably even push them away from it. And that's why I posted this video here, and hopefully if it gets enough positive feedback, ArenaNet might consider implementing some of these ideas and make War vs. World better for everyone. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing and all that good stuff. If you would like to hear me talk about something else, you can write in the comment section down below. And I guess that's it, and I'll see you next time.